Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of the Roll Jump Media podcast. I am joined once again by my co host Andres and my recurring panelists Jose and Luis. All right, so we're
Hello.
gonna. Yo, what's going on, guys? So we're
Hello,
gonna go
hello.
ahead and do a 180 for this podcast, and we're going to be doing the news first, and then we're going to be going into what we've been playing, and then a little cool little segment I had set up for the rest of the podcast. So first, news segments. Just quick little three little news segments. First thing is that Sega unveiled they unveiled their Game Gear micro consoles, and they're going to be out in Japan. This is by way of Sam Byford from at The Verge. These consoles are a set of four different consoles, and each of them have their own different games. There's no word currently on a Western release. So, have you guys heard about the Game Gear Micros?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I hear one.
They're
Go ahead.
they're pretty small, right? They fit on your palm, and there's four of them with one game on each, and I guess you can collect them.
Yeah, so there's five games on each console. They're all different colors, and if you order them all together, there's a attachment that blows up the screen. I don't know if you can get that attachment separately or whatever, but yeah, so Sega, I think they're $50 each as well. So
Yeah.
Sega has pre-orders up open in Japan for those Game Gear Micros. As for customers on the West, there's no word on it right now, but I'm assuming that they'll have those open in the future.
Yes.
Second news segment. We have a remaster coming out very soon. According to the rumors, it's going to be due out in August. I'm referring to Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. All right, so I got these details from Charlie Hall from Polygon, and the official Twitter account of Kingdoms of Amalur did confirm that the game will be coming soon. What's going to be offered, according to the rumors, is improved visuals and refined gameplay. So this game, I did stream the original last night on our Twitch channel at Rojump Media. Luis did see me play it for a little bit, and I did play it for about an hour. So I wanted to know from his perspective what he thought about how the game plays and its presentation, basically.
Also, from what I saw, um,
Yeah, just from the original.
I thought well, first of all, graphics wise, I asked if you played on the PC. Were you playing on the PC? And you said you were playing on the PS3.
Yeah, I was playing
Um,
the game on the PS3.
it looked really nice. I feel like it holds up, um, like how it looks, right?
Yeah,
And I did notice that there's, I mean, it's an open world RPG, right?
right.
Um, I mean, I saw a lot of similarities with Skyrim, and I love
Yeah,
Skyrim. So I I thought it like um, the the system, like the combat system, and how it plays was very similar to Skyrim. Yeah, so it's like a type of game that I'm interested in. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. A lot of looting, especially in the
Right.
tutorial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does look easier to follow, uh, like weapon wise, and you said that, like, for example, like the dialogue is very short or minimal.
Yeah, it's more concise compared to other
Hmm.
RPGs.
So that I appreciate that too. But yeah, overall, I think it's an interesting game. And the remaster is coming, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a remaster, and according to the rumors, it'll be out in the summer during August, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think there's a Switch version. I believe it's going to be coming out, according to the rumors, on PS4, Xbox, and PC. But as I've been saying, the official people in charge of the game haven't said any details yet, so we just have to wait and see. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to bring up for news is that many events, gaming events and other events as well, have been and are being postponed due to the Black Lives Matter movement. I just wanted to say that Roadjump Media supports the company's decision and stands with Black Lives Matter.
That's right. That's
Okay.
all I think. There's a
Okay,
lot.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's everything I wanted to bring up for news this week. Let's go ahead and go into what we've been playing. So, anybody want to volunteer first to share their experience? To avoid spoilers, use the timestamps in the description.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, uh, well, I mean, first of all, Animal Crossing. That's like a daily thing. Going in, get some new mounts, catch some new bugs. I mean, it's a new month, so there's new bugs and new fish. And I've
Uh-huh.
actually I've been having fun fishing because there's sharks now, and I think like the probability of getting like sharks is like pretty high. Mm.
Have you
Yesterday
gotten one?
I used that, yeah. Yesterday I
Nice.
went to another island. I used that Nuke Miles ticket, and I had like my whole inventory filled with sharks. So
Wow.
I I can't wait to sell them to CJ and get that dough.
Get that
But
dough.
yeah,
Okay.
I've been having a lot of fun with that. And so that's on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
On the PS4, I've been playing Uncharted 4. Um, I'm about, I want to say like a third done with it.
Okay.
Wait, well, first of all, I don't, I think I finished three this week. Yeah, 'cause I don't know if last week I mentioned that, but yeah, I finished Uncharted 3
Mm-hmm. I think you were
finally.
still in progress.
Yeah, I was still in progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, Uncharted 3, I'm playing it again. This is like the third time I play it, I think. I don't know how well it holds up, honestly. I don't know
Huh.
if it's because of the environment that just like turns me off,
It's li-
but
when I think of Uncharted 3, I think of a lot of brown.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I like that, like the whole desert. There's this portion, for example, where you're in the desert. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it.
Yeah, just go to
Um,
use the timestamps if you want to avoid Uncharted 3 details.
yeah, like when you're in the plane and it crashes, and you're in this desert, and you're just walking, and uh, Nathan starts like hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good what, like 7 minutes just straight walking and talking. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like there's not much to it.
Yeah. I kind of,
You're-
well, I only played it once, but I kind of liked that part just because it was
Mhm.
so different and memorable. But kind of the rest of the
Right. It's
game,
very right.
yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like also like the story seemed like I don't know. Like I feel like Uncharted 2, like the writing was way better, and even like the first one, it was more basic than number two. But I felt like
Mm.
the story was more cohesive and made more sense.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
Okay.
I remember playing Uncharted 3 and I don't know, I was investigating where this, treasure was. And like like a few moments later, I was already like in the place where the treasure was. And I was like, why did I miss? Like, what happened?
Ah,
But
okay, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I wasn't paying attention because I wasn't that interested in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was my experience with 3.
Cool.
And
Okay.
then I started playing 4, and I'm enjoying that much more.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
would say 4 is kind of like a refinement of all the games. It's
Right.
like, yeah. I mean, other games might do like some things better, but I think 4 is a representation of what every game did well.
Right. And then finally, Apex. I've been playing Apex Legends.
Haven't
Mm,
we all, friends? Haven't we all?
yeah, getting some W's. I feel
You're
like I've
pretty good
been.
at getting W's, man. Every time,
I feel
like,
like I've improved a lot, honestly.
oh, say it
But
again.
yeah, I feel like I've improved a lot on playing
Oh,
Apex.
okay. Yeah.
Because I remember I didn't get anything when I first started playing it. I don't
What do
know
you
this
think?
season.
What do you think changed?
Mm, I guess I focused on using like specific guns, and I've improved upon that, like how to use those weapons.
Yeah, yeah,
And I guess I've gotten more comfortable and like, and I've seen like other players also like how they play. I don't know. I think it's just observing.
yeah, yeah. It's just like you get more fluent with practice, and
Okay.
yeah, getting
But I
comfortable
think
with the game.
it's practice. Practice.
Yeah. And also, do you think sticking with a champion for a little while to get comfortable as well does help,
No,
or
right. Yeah.
at least for me,
Yeah,
that's my case.
just to see how they play.
Hmm.
Because sometimes when someone chooses the main legend that I use, I have to
Uh-huh.
use another legend, and sometimes I forget about their specials, and like, it's like once
Yeah.
I die, well, I had that special, I could have used it there,
Hmm.
so it kind of throws you off a little.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right, sweet. Shall I go next, or Jose, Andres, would you like to?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So I mean, Animal Crossing. Enough said. Luis pretty much said what I had to say about Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
Um, there's there's a photo shoot event also, uh, where you pretty much decorate a room. It's based on the wedding. I don't know if it's like wedding season, like in Japan, or but um, but it's focused on weddings. Um, so you're able to decorate the room and then take a picture of the llamas or alpacas. I don't know what they are. Um, surprisingly, I've been enjoying that a lot. I really like where you just have the freedom to decorate that one room however you want, and then appreciate how you decorate it. It's something that I don't really focus a lot on in Animal Crossing. That's
Hmm.
why like my rooms in the house are like a mess because I really don't. I haven't had the time to organize everything. But yeah, that aspect of it, I really started to appreciate, and I should start organizing my rooms. But yeah, that's been one of the games I've played, and then Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, that's a big one. Um,
Hmm.
enjoying it a lot. It's such a huge game, um, and sometimes it feels a little overwhelming because there's so many places to explore, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not used to games that big. It kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild in that sense, that it's like just this. Um, it's like you enter an area and you have all these, you know, places to explore. Um,
I see that.
it's
Um,
similar, but it's not exactly, like Breath of the Wild.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Um, oh yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
the
for sure.
grandiose of it, yet sure, but
Right, yeah,
yeah.
that's what I meant.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, the gameplay and all that, it's not
Right, right.
the same. But um, but yeah, it's a really good game. Um, I'm glad I started playing it, give it a chance, because I really really enjoyed it. Uh, and
I have a question.
yeah,
So I haven't played it as much as I originally intended to at this point of how long I've had it. But I
intense.
did go through the I did go through the main town. And
Right.
how long did you take to explore that town? Did you find it um, like what emotions ran through your head just going through that town
Um,
and just talking to the residents?
well, I mean, when I first started it, like I mentioned, like it was like a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's interesting is that you can like you talk to each person, and it's not like you know how in some games it's like this generic line for like most of the villagers, NPCs.
Mhm.
With this one, it's I don't know, each one has their own like individuality, um, and it adds to kind of like the community, I guess you could say, quote unquote, of that town, of that colony.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and I mean, it did take me, I want to say, I think it took me like 2 days to just kind of, mind you, I didn't play like those full 2 days,
Uh-huh.
but I did take my time to just kind of get to know the town, and because it's a lot of um, mechanics that the game introduces. So it's also kind of a good way for you to get used to that as well,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
and get to know like the different aspects of the game. Um, the affinity of, et cetera, et cetera.
True,
Most
true.
of it is. But but yeah, it's I don't know, it's fun. I enjoy just like going around town, talking to everyone, and you know, getting to know
Yeah.
these people, and the side quests and all of that, etc. All that stuff.
Mhm.
It makes for a good time. I really enjoyed it. Um, and I mean, the thing is that that first day that I started playing it, I took my time in that town, but then you find yourself that, there's still a lot more that you have to do. You have to go back to that town and, whether it's a side quest or, getting materials. Um, so it's
Mhm.
not something that you kind of are done with um, right away. It's something that you have to revisit, and I really like that.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan officially.
Nice,
I'm
man.
enjoying it. And
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to the sequel, and I want to get that one as well. Um, but I mean, I want to focus on this first, obviously. I want to finish this. I mean, there's also the extra story to do.
Yeah, the future
Um,
connected.
yeah, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, those are the two main games that I've been playing this
Cool.
past week.
All right. So, people that are left are me and my co-host. Shall I go first?
Yeah, you can go ahead, go first.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let's see. The ones I want to get out the way quickly. I've also been playing Apex and I've been continuing playing Final Fantasy 14. I've also played a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and just the visuals. The new visuals compared to how I played it on the 3DS, leaps and bounds better. It really immerses you into the game more. Just
Mhm.
seeing all the little details and taking in the enemies, how much better they look and how much more they feel like they belong in the world. So I also liked how in the original you couldn't, at least to my knowledge, you couldn't move the camera as much as you can in the definitive edition. So you can go into first person
Oh
and
yeah,
then kind of like walk around in first person. You can pan it so that it's not too close to the ground, but higher up, so it's kind of like eye level. And
Mhm.
just walking around in first person and just in a town and just talking to everybody and looking at the shops and I don't know. Something about that game is very cozy, and just very nice to
Yeah.
just existing basically.
Mhm.
So that's the main standout thing that I wanted to
I
bring
get.
out. Yeah, from my original experience. I also played a little bit. So there was this game on the eShop that was on sale for $1.49. So I just used my gold points to buy it. It's called a Cosmic Star Heroine. So what it is, it's an indie game and it's a turn-based game, pixel arts. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty game, and the turn-based mechanics they're unique enough to where it stands out from all the big budget uh, turn-based games. There's like a unique mechanic to where you have a meter, and once the meter builds up, you want to save your most damaging ability for a full meter so that you're putting out the most damage and not chancing dying basically. Uh, all the abilities give you different kinds of buffs for your party or for yourselves, and you have to be really very cognizant of what you need at a certain moment so that you persist through whatever challenge that's in front of you. So I put about like probably like 45, 50 minutes into it, and it's really good. I plan to go back to it very soon.
Is it still one?
I don't know, man. I bought it earlier this week. It might still be $1.49. If it still is, I you should definitely just drop $1.50 and get that game. Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to mention, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I'll provide a little bit of more comments on how it was for me revisiting that action RPG during the stream last night. The combat, I really enjoy the combat because it's not too intricate, but it's just intricate enough to where you can enjoy yourself without feeling overwhelmed. So you can equip different weapons. So there's swords, daggers. Well, at least in what I played, there were swords, daggers, um, bows and arrows, scepters, and staves. There's other weapons there, but I'll leave that for people that are interested in the remaster to experience. But there's so you can equip two different types of weapons, one on the square and one on the triangle, and all the combos either come with holding down the button, pushing the button a number of times, or you pause in between different combos, and those combos will have an alternation or have an alternate what do you say? Alternate combo, I guess. So if you go square, square, pause for a little bit, then push square, square, square again, then you'll do something different compared to just pushing square without pausing. So just like little nuances like that keep the combat fun and engaging, and just the sheer amount of variation. And for a 2012 game, the movement's very cool. Like you have a dedicated dodge button, uh, cool walking animations, cool running animations. Very pretty game, so I'm very excited for what the remaster has to offer. All right, so that's gonna do it for me for what I was playing this week. Co-host, you're up.
Well, I haven't really had a chance to play anything other than just Animal Crossing, like before I have to go in for my shift at work. So, well, I mean, I did play a little bit of Breath of Fire 4, which is like this PlayStation 1 game, on my day off. So that was pretty fun,
Okay.
or at least it was for a little bit before someone ruined my fun. But we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that right now, though.
All right.
But no, yeah, I mean, it just don't expect too much out of me because I haven't really had a lot of free time like I did a couple months ago. So it's pretty much just gonna be the same thing, just Animal Crossing and a little bit of Breath of Fire 4. So
Okay, completely understandable, dude. We got you. We got you. All right. So that's gonna do it for what we've been playing. For the rest of the segment for the podcast, what we're going to be doing is I have the Game of the Year nominees from 2013 through 2019. And what we're going to be doing is a sort of generation in review. I know the generation isn't over yet. We still have 2020 to experience before the consoles come out towards the end of the year. But I thought it would be pretty fun to just see all the games that we've been experiencing over the generation, the PS4, Xbox One generation, and the Switch a little bit too. So I got the Game of the Year nominees here. For 2013, I used VGX because there wasn't the Game Awards yet. Michael McWhorter provided those from, I believe it was, I'll look it up, but I believe it was Polygon. And for the rest of them, I got them from Wikipedia, and I'm referencing the Game Awards. So specifically the Game Awards Game of the Year nominees. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. To avoid spoilers, use the timestamps in the description. Let's go ahead and begin with 2013. So 2013 was the bridge between last gen and this gen. Um, these games are, let's see, you can find some of these games on this gen, but these are also all on last gen consoles, PS3, Xbox 360. All right, so what I have here for 2013 from VGX, they have BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Super Mario 3D World, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider, the remaster or the remake or the reboot, basically. Okay. Yeah, that was 2013. So, and the game that won uh, for VGX, the game that won was Grand Theft Auto 5. Last of Us won at different outlets. So, those two are basically the big hitters for that year. Do you guys have anything in particular to say about those games? Did you play them?
Okay, so out of those games, the only ones I played a little bit of GTA 5, and I played The Last of Us, and which are basically the top games, I guess, in those in that list.
Yeah.
And I never played 3D World, Mario 3D World. Waiting for a port, but anyways. um, I mean, personally, I don't like the GTA, like the GTA games. It's not that I don't like them. I don't see the appeal. The what's it called? The open sandbox game.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I guess we can address that because I know my co-host, he enjoys GTA, and I enjoyed GTA for a time with 4. So, did you want to
yeah.
chime in about the appeal of Grand Theft Auto?
Excuse me? I was literally just thinking right now how like I am so not a GTA fan.
Well, you liked
I
San Andreas though, right?
but who did it? Okay, but honestly though, well, honestly, who didn't like San Andreas? Okay, I was like what, like 10 or something when that game came out. That was not the type of game that any 10-year-old should have been playing. Okay.
True. Maybe.
No, but I mean, come on,
Yeah.
okay, come on. So, but seriously though, like, who hasn't played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Like, everybody's played that game.
Well, I guess
And I
I
mean,
have
yeah, I liked it.
yeah.
I thought it was funny, but I mean, like, I tried playing Grand Theft Auto 4. I tried playing Grand Theft Auto 5 because everybody's like, "Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5 is just as good as San Andreas, if not better." But I'm like, no, that's just not my type. It's not my type of game, honestly.
Mm,
It really like I played Grand Theft Auto like last year. Like, I don't know if I told you guys, but like I bought the like the game on PS4, and I played it, and it's just like I played through it, and it honestly took me a while just because I was kind of annoyed with it, because I realized like this, I like it was nostalgia. I was looking at it through nostalgia glasses. Like, it was,
mm,
you know what I mean? Like, I played it. I figured I might as well play it, like, because I already knew how the game played. Like, I already knew like how to play it. I already knew what to do and everything. Like, it was nothing like difficult or anything. But it was just like I was not um as invested, I guess, as I used to be. If I guess that would be the
Right.
appropriate way to describe it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, no, I would not consider myself an avid Grand Theft Auto fan. No, the farthest thing from.
Okay.
And
For
I guess it's just like um whoever played it, like you know when once it came out, like I don't know, when they were like kids or whatever, and I guess they got hooked and they liked it, and from then they became fans or whatever.
Oh,
but
I
it's just
wanna.
that the people. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you had a different franchise.
I'll chime in. So, the most Grand Theft Auto I played was for Grand Theft Auto 4. That came out for on last gen consoles, and I put a lot of time into that game. That was before I kind of found what I liked though. So that was when I was playing a lot of sports games and not really, I wasn't really versed in, RPGs or,
Right.
action games like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, things like that. So I really liked that game because let's see. It was because, well, open sandbox, and I like linearity in my games most of the time. And
Right.
the storyline in Grand Theft Autos are linear, even though you're in a sandbox. So it's just entertaining to just go along with the ride, just to see the story unfold in a Grand Theft Auto game. The dialogue is usually very well acted. You just go waypoint to waypoint, looking at the cutscenes, doing the missions. There's something innately um, rewarding about that process. And the one thing that turns me off of Grand Theft Auto 5 now is because I was more open-minded to driving in open worlds, but now I'm not too akin to driving. There's a lot of driving in Grand Theft Auto games. So people that do like driving, I believe, will be more akin to liking Grand Theft Auto as well. But those are just my thoughts about it.
Well, I mean, I never played it either. But when you mentioned the nominees, I was kind of expecting you to say Grand Theft Auto 5 was the winner, just because. I mean, I think to this day, like it's still selling. So, I mean, it was kind of a given. And I mean, obviously, The Last of Us as a contender. Since you said it, since you mentioned that they did win in other outlets. Um,
Hmm.
that also makes sense because I mean, The Last of Us is probably one of the. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the most defining games, at least of last decade. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about Grand Theft Auto or any of those games actually, because I don't think I've played any of those games
Hmm.
on the list. I need to expand my uh, what? Yeah, my catalog. But yeah, I
Yeah.
can see why, I can see the appeal. It just, I guess, it never clicked with me. Good.
I see that. I do have Tomb Raider, the reboot, on my PS3, and that game it kind of adapted to the third person action adventure genre, like the stereotypical one where Sony's usually um, spearheading it, over the shoulder, linear kind of
Hmm.
adventure, um, kind of big worlds, but not too big to where you would call it an open world. So it's that kind of game. It's just really well done. Um, Not similar to the original games too much. Her character is more, um, she has more flaws, I suppose, in comparison to the original back in the 90s. She's not just like this person that's going to, um, she has more emotion to where she'll express her worries and her fears, things like that. The original, she was kind of gung ho, just going into tombs, doing what she wants. And this Tomb Raider, she gave her that Tomb Raider gave her more personality. So that's why it's remembered fondly by people, in my opinion. All right, so that was 2013. Ready to move on to 14?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2014, this was the first full year with the new consoles, and 2014 is pretty notorious for being not a great year for video games, but we'll be the judge of that right now. So 2014, we had Dragon Age Inquisition by BioWare, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. All right, so I did play a couple of these games. Are any of you familiar with any of them?
Played Bayonetta 2, and what was the third one you said?
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, only Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, so it
I
was
only had
Dragon Age
experience with
Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and
Hearthstone,
Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor is kind of like an
Ooh,
Assassin's Creed game, a really well done one.
Really.
Probably even better in some aspects. That's pretty much how I could describe it.
Who won
Uh,
this year?
oh yeah, true. So it's for 2014. The winner, at least for the Game Awards, was Dragon Age Inquisition.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Bayonetta 2 got shafted pretty hard during this year.
Yeah, I remember. I remember this year actually
Yeah,
when
I
they
know
announced
you.
the win.
Yeah, so you played Bayonetta 2, right?
Yes.
All right. Did you think it
So,
was good?
well, yeah, from because I got the game for the Switch, and I got the first one and the second one because it came with in a single cartridge.
Okay,
And
yeah, yeah.
so I played the first one, and comparing it to the first one, like the second one is way better, I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I think the writing is better. I think the graphics are better. Way, it looks very beautiful, very colorful. Um, and I think they perfected the system, the battle system, and it's much more fluid. You play the first one and it's kind of depressing, and like it's so dark and it's so gray.
Hmm.
it's
Um,
got that like that blurry
yeah,
effect to
that
it.
blurry effect, right?
I see. Yeah.
And and then you play Bayonetta 2, and I think it you see like blues and you see reds and
More vibrant.
purples, and it's more vibrant, it's more colorful, it's more alive.
Okay,
um,
okay.
and yeah, I think it's a great game. Uh, People should definitely finish it or play it, and I mean, it makes me I'm hyped for three, to see what they do with the franchise and the story.
Cool.
But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Uh, but other than that, the other games, I've never played them. Um, I know Hearthstone was huge back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it is today.
I believe it's still pretty big. But that's it's
Yeah,
just not that's not us in this on this panel. So we can't
right.
really speak on it.
And then the other three games, Dark Souls, I've only played the first one, well, parts of it. I don't know how I feel about Dark Souls, honestly. A lot of
Yeah,
people
I never
like
played
that
it. Hmm.
kind of game, uh, but I don't know. I feel like you just want to get mad, I guess.
If you just want to get mad, preach on it.
And then Shadow of Mordor, it's a game that I've always been interested. I mean, I like the Lord of the Rings world.
Yeah,
I just never got the chance to get it and play it.
yeah.
Maybe in the future. And Dragon Inquisition, I don't know anything about that game. I've heard of it.
Hmm.
I haven't seen any gameplay or anything. I know. There's another one coming out, or they're
Yeah, there's
working
gonna
on
be a
it. They
Dragon Age
announced it
4.
a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much it. I know about that franchise.
Okay, so I guess I'll just spend a little bit of time talking about Dragon Age Inquisition then, because I never finished it, but I did play a few hours. It was on sale
Mhm.
on the PS4. So I played Dragon Age. I guess the one I played the most was the original Dragon Age, and what sets that game apart is the characterization. So how it works is that it's a Western RPG. You kind of you have like skills, and you kind of just fire off those skills, and you have party members, and those party members you kind of get to know them very well, and they become for some people it become like almost real people to where you care about them very deeply and you don't want them to anything to happen to them. And at
Hmm.
for peak BioWare, you never knew if your character was going to get out of the other side alive or to be unscathed. So that was kind of the main draw of the Dragon Age games. Um, for Inquisition, they improved the gameplay, and the story was I was pretty invested in the story, not as much as I was in like previous ones, but it's still a good entry. I don't. I think one criticism that was levied against it was that you spend too much time in certain zones. Like they force you to be in like open-ended zones for too long, and it kind of draws out the experience to where you don't want to play anymore. But yeah, I haven't played Dragon Age in a minute, but yeah, it's good. It's good. People usually recommend that you play the original. I don't think the original holds up gameplay wise, but story wise, I believe it holds up. All right. So that does it for 2014. For for the remainder of the years, let's go ahead and try to discuss it more concisely so that we can get through it in a timely manner. So for 2015, we have The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and Super Mario Maker. For this year,
Can I go first?
The Witcher 3 won Game of the Year for the Game Awards.
Can you can you can you say those again?
Yeah. So the for 2015, the Game of the Year nominees were The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and Super Mario Maker. The
And the
winner,
Witch
the winner was The Witcher 3. Yes. I don't really have much to say about this year, actually.
2015.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you play The Witcher 3, right?
I had The Witcher 3. I played it for a few hours. Didn't really get into it too much. It was pretty and it was well acted, but I just something about it just didn't keep me engaged.
eh, yeah, same with us. We have the Witcher 3. One of our uh, uncles bought it, and we have it here.
Yeah.
But we have never like played it. Um, I don't know. I know I hear it's a fantastic game, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the best games ever. But and I mean it's CD Project Red, right?
Correct.
Um, so maybe in the future I'll try it out. But yeah, other than that, the other games are cool. Mario Maker, I've seen gameplay. I played some of it when it came out with y'all. Um, but yeah, pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I know I remember this year in particular because I think it was like the first video game awards that I saw it.
okay.
And so that's when yeah, that's when I first like got into uh,
The whole
yeah into that. And yeah, I remember The Witcher 3 winning. And from what I remember is I felt like um, I think for the most part people agreed with that choice. Um, I know sometimes I mean there's like controversy whenever the Game of the Year award is handed out. Obviously, people have different opinions, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I remember, a lot of people uh, were pleased with the decision. Uh, I've
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
played any of the games. I mean, it's always nice to see a Nintendo game up there, but
Yeah, I got you.
but yeah, it was. Uh, I guess I mean the right game won. I can't really say much about any of these games because I've never played that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I played a little bit of the original Witcher, and that game does kind of show its age, but you can see just like how it all began. Um, let's see. You kind of get the origin of I don't know about the origin, but you get how you get more story before. I think if you do I don't know did yeah in the original you get more story to Geralt and Triss and all his brotherhoods of the Witchers. Like, cause that one guy in The Witcher 3, you guys started The Witcher 3, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay, you
Sadly.
haven't started it. Okay. So you kind of have this companion with you, and he was part of the the Witchers, like the organization. And in the
Mhm.
original game, you're in where they get trained, and then you kind of like fight in there because you get under attack. So kind of that backstory gets you more invested into the Witcher franchise. And I know there's books and everything that you can read. So yeah, I think The Witcher 3 it's a tough starting point because you're kind of thrown into a very rich storyline to where everything doesn't get established for you up front. And I think that's why the investment isn't as deep as other games that have an original story that you start right from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that about does it for 2015. We didn't even bring up Metal Gear Solid 5. Did you guys play that or?
All right. I
Yeah.
played that game. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I played all the well, I haven't played the original one.
Okay.
I still can't find it
We got to
anywhere.
stream that then, dude, somehow. When this quarantine's
Metal
over.
Gear.
I'm down to stream the original.
Oh, you have it?
Well, you say you haven't played the original though, right?
Yeah, but I don't have it. I don't have
Oh.
the original.
Well, it's like 5.99 probably on PSN.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Metal Gear Solid 5 is the last game of the franchise. Um, uh, but yeah, I enjoyed the third one, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. That's my favorite
Right.
game of the franchise. And it's probably one of the coolest experiences I've had in gaming. Um, and then the fourth one I also enjoyed very much. It's very story heavy, and it's very there's a lot of fan service for um, the fans in that game.
Yeah.
And then I played five. I do think that I don't know. Like I think I heard that there was like some problems during the development of the game. I think it was like Konami wanted like released as soon as possible or something like that. And,
Hmm.
and if that's true, I mean I can see that. And I mean it's a cool game. It's open world. You can go anywhere. But it does become a little repetitive. And again, there's a lot of desert in that game, and a lot of brown, like you said, right?
Oh,
And I don't
okay.
know, those kinds of environments, I don't know. I think I guess because it becomes like too repetitive for me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it becomes like tiring, I guess. But I like the combat, the stealth in those games. I love stealth games,
Yeah.
the system.
I guess
But yeah, I don't.
the one thing that keeps me away from Metal Gear Solid is I don't vibe too much with Snake for some reason. Like I think about playing as Snake and I'm like, cause my cousin was into 4, right? And he went to GameStop and he got 4 or wherever, whatever store. And
Right.
I looked at gameplay and you're just like sneaking around as this old man, and I'm like, I don't want to sneak around as an old man, dude. Like that doesn't. I don't know something. That's very biased of me to say, but that's why I just don't
Yeah.
vibe with the character yet. I kind of just have to probably just jump in and experience it
Yeah.
for
For
myself, I
for
guess.
for five specifically, or for all of
Yeah, I just don't vibe with Snake. I know it's very
them?
controversial for people to say, but for me to say, but yeah, the character itself I'm not vibing with just off of media I've consumed about Metal Gear Solid.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Did I
Yeah.
cut you off before you were gonna say something?
Um.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. I've said that. I was gonna say that. Yeah. Phantom Pain, but it's in that. It's not the greatest game in the franchise, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it didn't win. Honestly,
All
which
right,
is
cool.
unfortunate because it's a bad game in the franchise.
Yeah, yeah. Understandable, understandable. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to 2016. So 2016, uh, I have a bit to say about most of these games. We
Yeah.
have Overwatch, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. And
Before you say
over,
the winner, Jose, do you know, do you know who won?
he thinking,
I don't know.
You think you don't know who won? Out of all those games, who do you think won?
Okay, can you repeat the list?
sure. Overwatch, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
You're an Overwatch?
Oh, which one? I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about that.
Was that controversial back then, or what?
yeah, Overwatch did win. What happened?
Was that controversial, like back then? When they,
I guess slightly. I don't think people were
mm,
Yeah,
overly mad about it. I'm not mad about it because I played Overwatch and I understand how
right.
great that game is.
Yeah, I can
I
see
guess
that.
I'll start there. I guess I'll talk about why Overwatch is really fun. Uh, so for Overwatch, it's a first-person, team-based uh, hero shooter, but some of them don't shoot kind of deal. It's like a hero game.
Right.
yeah.
And I played the beta way back in 2016, and this game is really fun. How do I describe why it's super fun? Uh, just the competition of it all, um, the diversity of the characters. So I guess before Overwatch kind of started the trend of these competitive games having their own cinematics and people caring about each individual character as if they were coming from like a single player game,
Yeah.
and they get like millions of views on YouTube and everything. Um, my personal favorite one is Genji. So he's like a ninja,
Of
and
course.
he plays differently from the other characters because a lot of the characters they have projectiles and they'll shoot at you. And Genji, how he plays is he uses sword strikes, and so there's active abilities in the game. So one ability is you press it, and then you reflect all the projectiles that are coming at you back at the enemy. So it's not automatic though. You have to aim it at the person that you want to reflect it back at, and it does damage to them. And yeah, you just play with the sword as like ultimate and your other special. So like Jose, have you played Apex?
I haven't, but I've seen plenty of gameplay.
Okay. So in Apex, you know, Luis, that you have one active ability and one ultimate.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this game, you have two active abilities and one ultimate. S Yeah. So it's very Overwatchy. I mean, very Apex Legends in that way. And the gameplay revolves more around those abilities than gunplay. The auto attacks and stuff are still very important, but the abilities are what really determines who's really good at the game and who's not, I guess, when to use them and how it interplays with your auto attacks. Um, so there's this one game mode where you have to protect the payload. There's two different teams on each side, and then you have to be on the payload or the objective for it to move towards the other person's side of the map, and then the person that gets to the other side of the map wins the match. And um, there's like somebody's gonna have to be the tank, the person that absorbs the damage. One of them's going another has to be the DPS, and then there's also a healer. So it kind of gives you. I think you guys saw me play Apex Legends before, correct?
Yes.
Not Apex Legends, sorry, League of Legends, right? Like that one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so League of Legends, I guess that team dynamic is really, really real in Overwatch. So you have to work together, and even if you're not working together, as long as you're efficiently using your abilities and just sticking with your team, it's very rewarding to just like get that payload to the other side and get a victory screen. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess you kind of have to play it to understand, because I guess I'm trying to describe it as best as I can, but um,
It's kind of hard
definitely
without.
play it. Yeah. You got to get your hands on it to see how magical it is. It's just like the little nuances and how it just all comes together, how well crafted it is to experience.
So you think it's deserving of the game of the year?
Out of all of those, that's I suppose so, but were you guys thinking that Uncharted 4 would probably take it?
Mm,
I don't know. Would you say Overwatch added like something different like that year?
Yeah. Yeah, it
So I
definitely
like
did.
I can see how like Overwatch changed, the game, and so I can see how it won. Uncharted 4, I mean, they perfected like the system they had in place already, I think. Um, so
Yeah,
it's a
it
great
was more of
game,
a
but
perfection of the system.
right.
Hmm.
And I know you're a fan of Titanfall 2, no?
Yeah, dude. So Titanfall 2, if you like Apex Legends, you do yourself a service and play Titanfall 2. Like no joke. Because Titanfall 2 is a more mobile Apex Legends. Um, the single player is good. But what really shines is just the gameplay of it all. I think Titanfall 2 outshines any other first-person shooter ever. And I'm not exaggerating. I think Titanfall 2 is
That's a high praise.
probably the greatest first-person shooter I ever played. Apex is up there too, but Titanfall 2, cream of the crop, no joke. Multiplayer is amazing. The story engaging. Nothing wrong with that game. Have no criticisms for it. I platinumed that game. I have the platinum for it. It's really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Doom? I know you guys played a bit of Doom.
Doom, I played Doom like 3 years after it came out.
Okay.
Um, or when did it come out for the Switch? 2018. Um, and yeah, I enjoyed that game a lot. I thought I wasn't gonna enjoy it, but it's a really fun game.
Mhm.
You just killing demons and watching them explode. Um,
I feel that.
but like a lot of people, I've seen like in comment sections, right, when they're talking about like the game of the year like for that year. See a lot of people say Doom deserved it.
Mhm.
And, and I mean, I can see their arguments. It did bring back a franchise that like was pretty much dead, um, and they were able to bring it back with um, you know to its roots, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, and it helped launch or revive the franchise, to we're getting a well, we got a sequel already, not on the Switch, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's good. It's a very very fun game. It's dumb fun.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And there's social commentary in there too about like capitalism. You should, yes. But I'm not gonna get into.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to 2017. We still got 2017, 2018, and 2019. So let's try to kick up the pace a little bit. Um, it's probably going to be hard for this one
2017.
because we're attached to a lot of these games. So 2017 was a banger. Um, we have Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild,
The best game. Then let's go to 18, 20.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Player Unknown's
And
Battlegrounds, and Super Mario Odyssey. And the winner, as you guys can guess, was Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. All right, so where do we start with this one? 2017. It's going to be a discussion.
I mean, I got nothing to say, you know. Yeah. Okay, so, well, personally, I played Breath of the Wild. I 100% of the game. It's probably the game I put in more hours into. 330, I think.
That's big boy numbers. My gosh.
I love that game. I love that game. I still have several insights, but you know.
I'm not wrong with that.
Eh, so I mean, getting to that game, I remember I got it as a gift by my friends who are in this chat, in this conversation. I was very
Just say
excited.
by you guys, you idiot.
But y'all,
Like, why are you leaving it so ambiguous? Like, as if you're trying to leave one of us out. Like, we all pitched in and got it for you, you fool.
no, I know. I was just trying to be like. Anyways, yeah, I got it as a gift as from Ray and Cassandra and Andres. I was excited, but yeah, I love the game. It's really good. It's Legend of Zelda, as I've never seen it before. You know, it
Mhm.
changed how you play those games. There's room for improvement. I mean, definitely. Uh, but I don't know, like playing that game for the first time. I don't know. I'm gonna cry again. Anyways, Persona 5. I haven't played it, but I saw Andres play it. He's a huge fan of that game,
Mhm.
and so yeah, that game is beautiful as well. And, I fell in love with that game as well, in a different way, because I haven't played it, but just seeing the characters and like the characters are so, I don't know, well
Likeable.
developed, exactly, likable.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever see like I don't think I hate any of the characters in the game, um, personally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not even Goro Akechi?
mm,
Well, no, because even him, like his character, even though he is like the villain, I guess.
Spoiler, right?
Ugh, come on. Anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, even
It's
that,
all
like
good.
he's characterized perfectly for that role, and I don't know. I agree with Luis in that sense with the characters. I don't know, they're very well characterized.
Like you want to be part of that world, and you want to go to that school. You want to be a thief.
Yeah, right.
At the Shujin Academy.
Well, I mean, it
Yeah.
helps that like Persona is actually like it's basically centered like in like it's basically made to be like what's the word, like to be able to immerse yourself into it, because I
Like a
mean the
simulator.
setting is basically you as a high schooler like trying to get through your daily life while also dealing with the metaverse, people's cognitive view of how the world is, right? So I
Mhm.
Right.
mean it's easy for someone to like put themselves in the character's shoes, because I mean you're still a teenager, you're still trying to handle school and work and all that stuff, but then at the same time there's the video game aspect of it, whereas you're dealing with like magic
Right.
and all that stuff, like all this. Well, I guess in the game it's not really magic as much as it is cognitive science with PSI, but it's easy to compare yourself to the characters there, you know. And that's precisely what the creators of the game intended, was for you to be able to, like, what's it called? Identify yourself with the characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the fact that you can build relationships with the other characters. The fact that you can build like relationships.
Oh yeah,
with the other characters.
the main mechanic of the Persona series is that you actually have to strengthen the bond between you and your party members, your friends. You know.
So you get to know those people.
Yeah. Like, and the game incentivizes you and actually rewards you for actually building a bond with your teammates. So it's like easily for me one of the best RPGs ever made. And it's like it's
yes, sir.
It's kind of sad that I only recently became a fan, because I had so many people tell me about Persona 5 before it came out, like in April of 2017. I remember having at least 4 different people try to convince me to play the game. Ray being one of them. Actually, no, you didn't really try to convince me as much as you were like, you know what, when Persona 5 comes out, y'all ain't gonna hear from me from a month.
Yeah.
Like you didn't really try to convince me to play it as much as you were just trying to be like, you know what, this is coming out, like I'm out, like y'all ain't gonna hear from me, like I'm out.
I'm disappearing.
Yeah, yeah, but it was though I had like 4 other people be like, oh, you know what, like this game is really good, like it's a spin-off from the mothership title, the Shin Megami Tensei series, blah 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 blah, and I'm just and I kept hearing like these people tell me about it, and I'm just like, oh, you really? Wow, it's so interesting. And then like it wasn't because if it hadn't been for this one friend of mine, like he didn't have a PlayStation 4 of his own, so he came over to borrow mine. And I was really upset too, because I remember I was like already playing a game. Like he just showed up out of nowhere. Like I was playing Tales of Zestiria, I think. And then he comes over and he's just like, "Can I borrow your PlayStation?" And I'm like, "I'm playing something right now." He's like, "Oh, just let me play it because I don't have a PlayStation." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I was just like angrily sitting here like on my couch, like watching him play on my PlayStation, and I'm just like, "This game is so annoying. How boring." Because you know how like the setup, it takes a while, because it's, you know, you have to set yourself into your new home, and you have to go to school to sign up to the school, and like it literally like takes like about an hour 15 before the game actually kicks off. But then I remember when it happened, when the awakening happened, I was just like, what? Nani?
Yeah.
And you know I'm a huge fan of that song too, Willpower. As soon as I heard Willpower, I was just like, ooh boy, this is the game.
Just the soundtrack, like,
what happened?
The soundtrack in that game,
yes, the soundtrack
amazing.
Is really good. It is really. I have like almost all the songs on my phone. So
like I remember I would hear people like comment on YouTube or whatever and say like, oh, the soundtrack, it's amazing, and they want to like start seeing you watch it, see you play it, and like play the music. Like I couldn't believe that music was in that game, you know, and it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
River in the
Honestly,
desert.
like if Breath of the Wild hadn't been in that year's category, like easily Persona 5 would have taken it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said this. I don't know about the Game Awards though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay,
Well-
what were the other games of that year? It was okay, Mario Odyssey, like, okay, yeah, there's a couple of Nintendo has a strong following and everything, but
Odyssey is perfection, other than the story. If you said that, if you have a one gripe about the gameplay, tell me now.
My one gripe about I have many, but like the biggest one I would have.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the type of person where like, okay, like if I'm playing a video game and you usually like you enter a town or like an area of a game and there's like a bunch of side quests, and then like, you know, you can choose to like leave the town and then, you know, you can come back and do the side quests later or something, but no, that's not me. So in Mario Odyssey, like there's easily almost 1,000 moons. Like before they added more moons and stuff, like through updates and like DLC and stuff like that. there was already easily like 1,000 moons on that game. So like I think I'm still like in New Donk City trying to get all of the power moons there before I moved on. And I know that like I think there was 2 of them that like, oh well, it says that they're there, like they're available to get, but like you can't really get them, like they're inaccessible. But it's the fact that they're there, that the game says, oh, that they're presently there, and it's just like I don't want to move on. Like I've been in that section for like 3 years already. Like I have not I haven't beat the game because I'm still stuck in New Dog City trying to get all the power moves before leaving. So
Right.
But did you enjoy getting the moons?
no, okay. Some of them, yeah, some of them were cute. Like you have like okay, like what was it? The one where like you do the concert or whatever, and like you kind of do this little nostalgia trip where you play as 8-bit Mario and whatever. That was cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was really cool. Like that's honestly one of the best scenes of the game. But then there's just other ones that it's just like really like that's it. Like oh, you just dig on the ground, like you just ground pound the ground, and it's just like okay, that's kind of stupid. That's you really literally like any random person could have just walked up and get this power moon. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I see.
I feel like there's not a great appreciation of the actual fluidity of the movement system taking place here.
Okay, well, you know
That's
what?
what you like.
Okay, the whole capping mechanic. Okay, I like it. It was new. It's different, right? Because I mean, okay, well, you've had other partners in the past, right? Like you've had Flood
Flood, yeah.
from Mario Sunshine. You have Yoshi in a couple of games. Obviously the Yoshi mechanic is pretty cool, but it's just like I don't know, like. I feel like they did a lot with Cappy, but I feel like they didn't take full advantage of it. Cause like okay, the game introduces like the very first time that you take over something, it's a frog, right? Like remember like when you first get introduced to the Cappy mechanic, you take over a frog, and it allows you to jump like really high up cliffs. But it's just like you don't really take over another animal, like oh you can't take over a dog or something and then like be able to dig like in the ground. Like I don't know. Like that's just me. That's just me nitpicking. That's just me nitpicking. But
Okay,
it's
okay.
just like the only thing like you can take over like a lot of enemies like Goombas and like the Hammer Bros, the Fire Bros and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Which
yeah, yeah.
that's all cool and everything. But it's just like I feel like there could have been a lot more done still. Cause it's like because even when you do take over like a Hammer Bro or like a Goomba, you're so limited to what you can do with that, and it's just like with all the thousands of enemies in the Mario franchise, like you could have taken advantage of so many different like movements and abilities, and it's just like it's very limited what you can actually do in that game. Like the Goombas, what can you do? Like you can stack them on top of each other. Yeah, that's cool.
What else?
That offers like, but you don't really do much with anything other than just be like, oh, there's a power moon really up high there. Let's stack like 10 Goombas on top of each other. Get it?
What else is a Goomba supposed to do? We can
I
wield
don't know,
the
like
wield the greatsword and destroy all the enemies. What do you?
No, that's not what I mean. But I mean, like, why don't you do something like, oh, you make like a Goomba ladder, or like you make like a bridge or something like, like
Oh,
if
okay.
you're
I see
already
what you're
stacking
saying.
them on top of each other, you might as well be like, oh, like let's make them like get like, oh, you have to line them up together to like climb a cliff, or line them up and like have them fall and like form a bridge or something like where you kind of do like a tightrope situation trying to get across a large gap. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess
Like
I'm just so
I mean,
enamored.
there's some ingenuity to it, but I feel like there wasn't enough ingenuity. You get me?
Yeah, I understand.
But I mean,
There's
overall, it's a
definitely
great game. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I'm just saying, like they could have. I felt like they could have done more. But again, I only got through what like 40% of the game, I think.
New Donk? It's like a quarter maybe.
Okay, so I mean, I didn't get too far into the game, so that's just me.
Yeah.
right.
I understand
So
where you're
I
coming
don't
from
really
though.
know exactly what the game has to offer. Like for all I know, like what I'm thinking the game was missing is probably implemented. I just haven't been there to see it.
Yeah.
But I digress. Let's move on.
Sure. I just want to give a shout out to, I'll give a shout out. Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't played it yet, but I heard a whole bunch of great things and I do plan to play it. Unknown's
I want to get that.
Battlegrounds. Oh, you said you want to play it?
Yeah. I think in Black Friday was like what, $20 or $10?
I think it was like 10, it was $11.99, $11 maybe.
Yeah, and I didn't get it. So maybe in
You
the
didn't
future.
you didn't get it?
No, I didn't get
I see.
it.
All right. And then PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, don't I wouldn't even think it belongs there, but that's a different discussion.
Mhm.
All right, so we still have 2018 and 2019, but I say we do that as a part two because we're getting we're making pretty the time's getting pretty long. So let's go ahead and move on to pass or play for now. We'll do 2018 and 2019 in next week's. Hopefully, we'll have time next week to continue that.
Right.
All right, so pass or play. How pass or play works, if you don't know, one of the panelists, including myself, we will choose a game, and we take a quote from the back of the box, and the rest of the panelists have to guess what the game is and tell. Well, they don't have to if they don't know, but and also tell if they would play the game based off of that description. So we have two people that are going to do it today.
Yeah.
All right, so any of you gentlemen want to take it away? Go ahead.
I'll go first, as usual. Okay, y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay, so and again, I'm gonna blank some words that might give it away or might hint to the title of the game.
Sure.
Okay, so blank. Oh, blank will take you on an incredible journey to protect the universe from the evil blank once and for all. You'll use combat strategies to help fulfill the blank, the greatest warrior the universe has ever known. The kidnapping of blank's son, blank, threatens the safety of the universe. The future depends on your ability to use your powers to help blank defeat his enemies. Get ready to power up.
That that last line threw me. Like, what? Get ready to power up. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, you know what? Can you reread that for me again?
Yes.
I need some time to formulate my opinion. Go ahead and read that
Yeah,
for me
yeah.
again.
Yeah. Then again, I always get this from games that I play, so some of them might be like, you know, weird choices. But anyway,
Okay.
um, blank will take you on an incredible journey to protect the universe from the evil blank once and for all. You'll use combat strategies to help fulfill the blank, the greatest warrior the universe has ever known. The kidnapping of blank's son, blank, threatens the safety of the universe. The future depends on your ability to use your powers to help blank defeat his enemies. Get ready to power up.
Everybody's thinking like, what?
The fuck?
I have no idea. You know what? I don't. It sounds like it's an RPG, but then at the same time, I don't know.
You know I like a good retrieval arc, and there's a kidnapping of somebody's son, so I'm guessing there's a retrieval there. Combat strategies. Based off of those two things, I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the
Alright,
heck?
so I gotta play.
I'll play it too. I guess. I have a feeling I'm gonna regret it, but okay, I'm down.
Do I have a guess though? Universe. I don't have a guess, Chief. Nothing.
I'll play it. I'll play it as well. Um, I feel like I know what this game is, but I can't think of it.
I feel like you're not gonna guess it.
Really?
You're not
Okay, then I'll.
So I got three plays.
Hmm.
Alright, so the game is Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku,
What the?
Ooh.
Heck,
What?
and the Game Boy Advance.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Dragon
I
Ball.
would try. I would try Controls.
Yeah,
You're talking
basically.
about Reddits, bro. Oh my gosh.
Well, I was talking about Frieza, but it's basically like a retelling of the anime in the game, I guess.
Oh, I did not
But
think
yeah,
about anime as a possibility.
You know what? I'm okay with my decision because I mean, I'm down with Dragon Ball. You know, Dragon Ball Z. Who didn't watch Dragon Ball Z when they were a kid? Canal 32. at like
right?
5 p.m. That's where it was at.
And I think that's the reason why we had the game in the first place, because well, it was our uncle's game, I think, and he got it and we played it, and because we watched Dragon Ball Z, so I enjoyed the game for what it was. I mean, it's not like the best game ever, but it's a fun
Mhm.
little game.
Cool. I guess, yeah. I don't regret my decision either.
It's like
Game Boy Advance is where it was at, Chief.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. All right, co-host, you ready?
Okay, so I decided to switch it up a little. I had a couple of games in mind, but I feel like this one. I think this one is a good one to start with. Okay,
All right.
so here we go. Behind every shadow lies your darkest fears. An ordinary girl with ordinary dreams is about to discover a side of herself that she never knew she possessed. Only she has the power to destroy the evil that threatens to plunge the world into darkness. Her destiny is to confront the brutal crusade of the evil servants, foul spirits who thrive on the trapped life force of their murdered victims' souls. To save herself and these tortured innocents, you must unlock the mystery surrounding the death of each soul. However, the legions of the dark world won't succumb so easily. You must summon the sacred weapons necessary to banish these demonic creatures to the nightmare realms that spawn them before the clock tower strikes midnight.
Dude, I'm in. That sounds dope.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. um, is that the what's it called? Clock of Shadows or Tower of Shadows or what?
Okay, well first we gotta
Like,
decide, are you want to play this or not?
yeah, I'll play it.
I'll
I'm
play it
in,
too.
Chief. What was it? It was like it sounds like a detective kind of dark detective story. I haven't played many of those, and I'm in. I want to experience that. As for the game, it sounds like a PS2 game. I'm guessing it's from like the PS2 era.
I don't have a guess at all, but I would play it. Sounds really interesting.
Okay, so we got plays all around then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If for those of you that want to guess, I'm gonna read it again, okay?
Okay.
So, behind every shadow lies your darkest fears. An ordinary girl with ordinary dreams is about to discover a side of herself that she never knew she possessed. Only she has the power to destroy the evil that threatens to plunge the world into darkness. Her destiny is to confront the brutal crusade of the evil servants, foul spirits who thrive on the trapped life force of their murdered victims' souls. To save herself and these tortured innocents, you must unlock the mystery surrounding the death of each soul. However, the legions of the dark world won't succumb so easily. You must summon the sacred weapons necessary to banish these demonic creatures to the nightmare realms that spawn them before the clock tower strikes midnight.
See, my first thought was Tales of Berseria, but I don't think that's it.
What?
Cause the main character is like she turns dark. But that doesn't make sense to me off of the rest of the description. Clock Tower. Yeah, I have no guess, Chief. I don't know. I don't know
Nothing.
what that could be.
Me neither.
All right, you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, I'm stumped.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good.
Go ahead.
That was
So
a
I
good
probably
pull.
I probably should have proofed this before I read it because the answer was actually in the description.
What?
Because this is Clock Tower 3.
See, that's what I was. Because I heard Clock Tower, I was like, wait, isn't that game? Like, I've heard
Yeah,
of
I,
that
I
game.
did. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I kind of hesitated there, like on my first read through. I didn't realize that it actually said the words Clock Tower in there. And
Huh.
like as soon as I was reading it, like as I was reading it, I was just like, crap. And then like when I read it the second time, I was thinking in my head, should I omit the tower part? But then if I do, then it's gonna give it away
Yeah.
what it is. So I was just like, I'm just gonna read it as if nothing's wrong.
Dude, I guess I have to look up gameplay of the Clock Tower series. Cause that sounds dope.
Okay, so Clock Tower 1 and 2, if I remember correctly, I think they were like computer games that were like point and click.
Oh,
I think I don't remember.
okay.
I could be mistaken. I
Okay.
feel like it is, but it's Clock Tower 3 is actually the best one out of the series because I think it goes all the way up to 4. And
Mm.
from what I remember, critics and gamers saying is that Clock Tower 3 was actually the best one. And you are right, Ray. It is a PlayStation 2 game.
Wow,
Uh,
I got it.
yeah,
Nice.
it was a PlayStation 2 era game. So
Ooh.
yeah, I remember. Um, I think I was probably a little bit younger than like 10 years old. Also, when I first discovered this game, this was also like my uncle. He was also playing it, and yeah, I remember it was pretty interesting. It wasn't scary as much as it was kind of like it just made you feel some type of way because like of the psychological like aspect to it. Because I mean, it is supposed to be like a horror game, but I mean, I don't know, like I don't really scare easily, so I didn't think of it as a scary game. But it's just like I remember watching like my uncle play it, and I was just like, you know what, this is kind of like gruesome, like kind of grotesque. Like I remember thinking that, you
Mhm.
know. So when I played it later, when I was older, probably like in my mid-teens or something, I remember thinking, yeah, this was not the type of game that I should have been like watching, like as a like in my younger self, you know, because you know there's I think there's like four, well, not counting the last boss, right? I think there's like four servants that you have to fight against, and yeah, like each of their stories is kind of messed up, you know, it's like it's pretty messed up,
Yeah, that makes
and
me more intrigued.
it's a good game. Just like if I don't know if it's like on the PlayStation Network or something, but I mean, if you still have, well, you still have your PS2, so I don't know if you want to like cop it or something, or I'll lend it to you. I don't know, but it's a pretty good game. It's worth the play. It really is. It's interesting.
Cool.
But yeah,
Yeah, you put me on notice on that one. I'll have to look that up. Cool. All right, so that's gonna do it for our pass or play segment for the podcast, and that's also going to do it for the podcast. Thank you for everybody that listened. If you'd like to catch us on outside of the podcast, we do stream on Twitch. Um, we try to keep it every week, and we've been sticking to it so far. So if you want to catch us there, you may. It's Roll Jump Media. Just look that up on Twitch, and you'll find us. Also on our pretty much any social media you can think of, we're probably on there. Not Reddit, not a couple of things, but most of them we're on there. You can just go ahead and look us up at Roll Jump Media. I'd like to extend a thank you to my panelists and my co-host once again for joining me, and
Thank you.
we'll see everybody on the next episode. Thank you.